And welcome to episode 9 of Movie Bookie. This episode is all about King Richard, which was Nick's pick.
Well, not all about.
But before we get into it, remember to like,
subscribe,
and
comment.
Subscribe, hit that bell, turn notifications on.
I'll get good at it one day.
The episode that came out earlier this week, before this one, we went over The Lighthouse, which we watched last week. It's been a whole process. Aaron's usually our editor. Has not been here. He's been on vacation, so I've been editing. Finally learned how to do it. So the Lighthouse episode should be up soon. As you've noticed, Aaron is not here this week. He will be back next week. Let's fucking go.
Ooh.
But we do have Gavin back. So Zach, Gavin, I'm Nick. We are going to get right into it. Gavin wasn't here last week, so we should just start with his thoughts on the Lighthouse.
Yeah, catch up a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. So at first I was like, I'm gonna do timestamps. Because I didn't know anything about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Me neither.
So at 3 minutes, I said, "Woo, Edward playing Ephraim Winslow," because I had the subtitles on, so I knew their names immediately. Keep that in mind. And then I said, "Very high quality black and white." It wasn't grainy at all, which kind of was disconcerting. A little, in my opinion, it was just like a little jarring, because usually black and white has just a little bit of graininess to it. The introduction for Thomas was pissing in a pot and farting. Great introduction. The mermaid in the mattress fuckhole. Still don't know what's going on with that. Okay, I was really confused by the mermaid in the mattress and like how he magically just fucking knew it was there. Like, is that normal? Like, is there always a mattress fuckhole and they just always know there's shit in there?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he was like the princess who felt the pee in her bed and felt it on his back or his rump.
11 minutes and 30 seconds in. Willem Dafoe is a freak. What the hell is going on? This is the scene where he's just baking the light. This is when we first see him just getting bathed in light with his shirt. I was like, what the fuck?
Willem Dafoe is a national treasure.
That's another thing that I realized editing that episode. William Dafoe, we love you, but we are probably going to get your name wrong every once in a while. And we aren't going to correct it every time, because we did that a lot in that Lighthouse episode. You would say it, and I'd be like, Dafoe, and you'd be like, Dafoe. And then I'd say it, and you'd be like, Dafoe. And I'm like, fuck, Dafoe.
You need to just get little clips if every time you say Dafoe, just have a super cut. See how long it is.
Honestly, I know we're recording right now, but we need a poster of the things we need to remember right behind the camera. We're learning, we're loving it. Continue.
After that, I said, I don't remember what that was about. But then squawk loudly, "This here's my area, vampire," squeaks the gull. Because, what the fuck? Alright, and then
I'd like to kill a gull.
And then the other thing that made me I don't know, I wrote front hand, backhand in tone, Thomas. "Backhand," replied Edward. Oh, by the way, I call Ephraim Edward in this entire thing. He is Edward.
When he smacks him at that table, that was the first part of the movie where I just died.
Yeah, oh yeah,
that's fucking great.
It was just
BAM! He's just like, what the fuck? Out of nowhere.
I know, I was like, holy shit. At 20, so my prediction at about 29 minutes in. Prediction, Edward kills Thomas or Thomas kills himself. Personally leaning more towards the former, so I figured Edward would kill Thomas. Again, not Ephraim to me, he was Edward the entire movie.
Until he wasn't.
Yeah. 30 minutes, I just said, "Way to fall, Edward." I don't even remember what that was about.
Oh, was that weird dream he was having?
Yeah, where he just fell weird, I think. Like he just fell over somewhere. It was 30 minutes in.
Is that when he fell off the ladder?
That was about...
Or when he was painting them?
Oh, no, that's...
Yeah, it was when he...
William dropped him.
Yeah. Way to fall, Edward. Let's see here. And then I said, this is the first time I mentioned it. This has a very Lovecraftian feel. Mm-hmm. And then that sentence repeats a lot in my notes. I'm not going to go over every time. I just had a couple that I want to see. And then when Edward was giving us the backstory about what the fuck was going on, what I gathered from that is that Edward probably killed his father. Not sure how I got there, but that's what I got from that conversation the first time when he lies about who he is. At 38:50, whoa, hentai. And then fuck that meat towel up good, Edward. And then let's get shit-faced. And then 46 minutes for Thomas's name reveal. And I wrote, I watched subs, so I knew.
I knew this.
Edward shitface. And then, why couldn't he wash himself in the rain? Or the fucking ocean? And then I wrote, titties.
Salt.
So as I wrote titties, and then I put a period, and then a little bit longer, I was like, wait, mermaid titties, and I put a period, and then I said siren titties, and with a question mark. Edward has forgotten much time. Prediction, cannibalism? Thomas is a goddamn warlock. This is when he was given that fucking, like, death hex to fucking... Holy shit!
That's one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie.
I tried.
You liked my lobster, I know it!
I tried reenacting.
Oh, it was great. When that episode comes out, I would watch it just because Gavin or Zach trying to do that voice was hilarious.
I was legitimately trying the first half, and I just kind of like died out.
Yeah, I wrote, did he just death hex Edward? And I wrote more. I was like, not even death hex, fucking evisceration, annihilation, complete utter disintegration of his soul for saying that he didn't like Thomas's cooking. It was such a gross. And then Edward's delivery of,
if I had a steak.
No.
All
I said
right.
afterward.
Yeah. All right, man, have it your way. I like your cooking. Fucking killed me. Oh, and then the steak. God. And it had some good lines in it. I didn't think it was very scary. It was thrilling, I suppose. It was the mystery of it, which is very Lovecraftian, which I, again, write like 7 times. I'm like, this is... let's see here. I said Edward's a probable serial killer. I do think he probably killed his foreman and his da, as he calls it in there. Let's see here. Then Edward starts coming to tentacles and corpses. And then, this is when it gets real wild. Do Edward and Thomas fuck? This movie is wild.
Oh man, I was hoping for it so bad. When they leaned in for that kiss, I wanted it so bad.
There were a few moments where I was sitting there just like, they're gonna fucking do it, aren't they? They're gonna do it.
I was like, this has some real bisexual energy throughout the whole fucking movie.
Yeah, and it was great.
Mean, if I was
it was great.
I mean, if I was alone in a warehouse with William Dafoe, probably wouldn't happen because I'm not standard-wise.
Oh, let's see here. Yeah, I was just like, holy shit. And then I didn't do it. I didn't. Oh, hi, Mark. That was the vibes I got from... It was shortly after that one. Just the whole, like, they're arguing and then like, oh, hi, Ed, or whatever the fuck he said. I can't remember. Let's see here. Chronology of this movie is confusing, which seems purposeful because of Thomas also being a sociopath. And then I was like, logbook empty? Or no pay for Edward? You farts! You goddamn farts!
I'm sick of your goddamn farts!
Sick of your goddamn farts!
I still have to say my favorite line is the steak line. I just want a steak. If I had one, I'd fuck it.
I'd fuck a steak. Oh.
Classic. That's gotta be top 5 so far.
I think this probably increased my enjoyment of this. I've been thinking of him as Edward from Twilight this whole time. Like, this is what he did when he first became a vampire. Like, this is what him just figuring shit out.
Mm-hmm. Trying to stay away from popular areas.
Yeah. It just no fucking sense.
Headcanon works.
And then I said, oh wow, logbook was far worse than I thought. And then wrote, kicked your ass, old man. Mm-hmm. What the fuck, Thomas the man dog with Edward as the master. Complete mental break, bearing Thomas the man dog. Man dog talks a fucking lot. I do not think man dog is dead. Master has the keys now. Master is asked a question by man dog, but Master asks a better, more final question. This shit hella Lovecraftian. So seagulls are the souls of the dead sailors, and the final scene is Edward being eaten by the seagulls. And prior to that is Thomas cursing him to be eaten bit by bit by the souls of the dead sailors, bringing this hex into a true foretelling, meaning that Thomas, who is a Triton, which is also like the male mermaid, is a sea warlock witch, and that's all I got. Movie was wild.
Overall, what do you give it? I gave it a 5. I think Zach gave it a 6.
6. 6 sounds right to me. Like, I'm not telling anyone to watch this fucking movie. I enjoyed it. It's a wild movie, and if you do like Lovecraft, you'll really enjoy it. This is one of the better Lovecraftian movies I've seen in a while. I do kind of want to make you guys watch Color Out of Space, but it's nowhere near it. It's more like Rotor level of bad, not whatever the fuck this was. Mm-hmm. Like, this wasn't bad. The mystery was well done. We never find out what's in the light. It's confusing. The characters don't know what the fuck's going on, but every time they go for more knowledge, they go insane. That's the whole premise. That's the entirety of Lovecraft's work, for the most part. Mm-hmm. Minus a lot of the racist shit. But it was fun.
Yeah, I think I gave it a 6. For this one, I'd be very careful who I recommend it to. Mostly because, well, one third, these thought it was alright. The other third hated with her very being.
Tori hated it more than cats, which is telling because she almost cried during cats.
But I can't say I loved it, but I highly enjoyed it.
I like Lovecraft's work. I don't like his views, and it did start to change in his later, like, blah, 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 blah. But I do think Lovecraft is, like, I like the genre. I like the stories. I have an audiobook that has, like, all of H.P. Lovecraft's best works that are, like read and shit, which makes them more interesting. But you know what? They're still kind of fucking boring. That's the real issue with these. Mm-hmm. You don't ever really find anything out. And the point of these is that you're supposed to watch, like, a wider, like, with Lovecraft's, shit starts to make sense after you read, like, his entire work, because it's all connected. It's all the same, like, all of it's connected in these ways that you don't see when you see it the first time. Lighthouse has that vibe, but I haven't watched any of the other movies. I don't know if there's a connection to it. I have no idea. So I don't know. So there's a lot I don't know, and that's kind of bullshit. But if you like Twilight, I definitely recommend you watch this movie. Simply because imagining Ephraim as Edward the entire movie is great.
I'm just imagining a group full of, probably now mid-30s ladies who had gone to the premiere of Twilight back in the day, just lining up and doing like, Edward sleepover, we're watching The Lighthouse tonight, and just finishing like, what was that?
What the fuck did I just watch?
You just saw Edward's butt, you're welcome, ladies. So, and just thought it was, just said what I asked her, she just said what the fuck. So I'm not really sure where her, because that's kind of what I
undecided. I'm starting to get this sense where, like, A24, which is the studio who was behind this film, that they have, like, this niche where like, it's super artsy, hard to, like, understand the first time, but, like, visually well done kind of films. Like X, which we watched this weekend, was one of their films.
Get a review of that on the movie episode coming out later this week.
Was that bad? Was that better?
We'll talk about that in the movie episode coming out later this week.
Okay, sorry. I do have to know, actually.
Because I feel like if we start talking about
it X
now,
or Hex?
X. Just the letter X.
Okay. And just to make sure, is this the one in the woods with the witch?
No.
Okay. Because I read something, I was looking up shit on Lighthouse, so I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, Lighthouse. If you want to see mine and Zach's reaction, check out our last episode.
Yeah.
But this week was my pick. I did pick King Richard just because I didn't think that Aaron would care if he missed this one. I guess I'll get it first just because I had already seen it. Story of Venus and Serena Williams and their upbringing with their dad, Richard. I saw it in theaters. One day I got off of work early. Tori was still working. I was like, I'm just going to go watch a movie. So I went and saw this movie and I loved it. Watching it again was actually really, really nice because I did catch some stuff that I missed the first time around. And what I love about this movie is it hits almost every note that you can possibly think of. There's a decent amount of comedy in there. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of drama. There's just heart-filled moments that just make you like just feel happy watching these. And it's crazy to think that this was closely related. I'm sure that they got some stuff wrong, just as most biographies and stuff like that do, to what they went through growing up in Compton and how their dad just had this plan for their whole lives and it worked out almost exactly like how he had written it. And
well, he wrote it 2 years prior.
Yeah.
Before they were even born. And I looked this stuff up because I was here, and Serena and Venus Williams. Why is that so difficult? They said that it was because Will Smith let them watch it because they said they had to watch it before they let other names be associated with it. And they said it was really close. So
that's really cool.
Like the beatings were real, and that's what happened, and a lot of that shit happened. Like most of it's dramatized, and I mean they do. You say they mentioned the fact that he just abandoned his other family just wholesale.
Yeah, that happens in an argument later in the movie. I'm not a huge tennis fan. I've never been super into tennis. Like, I've watched some tennis on TV. But I mean, if I'm gonna watch tennis, it's for very few people, and Venus and Serena are definitely two of the people. Roger Federer would be another one. I mean, you just have those names that are so big and so good that it's like captivating to watch how good they are at the sport. And so it was really, really cool to see their upbringing and how they got so good at this sport. And I know that throughout the movie, because we watched it with your wife and my fiance,
Yep.
and there were a couple moments where they would get upset with Richard and the way he was going about the training for Venus and Serena. And I get where they were coming from, but I kind of get where Richard was coming from too. I don't think Richard was doing it intently malicious. I think that he wanted his kids to, have a full childhood without having to worry about these things. And
knowing about the color of the skin, he knew that they were going to have to work harder for it.
Overall, I absolutely love this movie. If I had seen this when we made our top... I think this was in my top 10 sports movies.
No,
I think you might have.
You hadn't watched it yet.
Okay.
No.
I think I did.
Yeah, you didn't watch it for the 2021 movies.
It was definitely on my list of favorite 2020 movies, I remember, or 2021 movies.
Yeah.
I definitely remember that. I think it was 7 or 8 on that list, and it might even have moved up after my second viewing. What did you think?
Man, I just to lay this down on the ground right now. I had brought down my notebook to do notes on it, like I've done for every movie Bookie so far. Had it sprawled open, pen there, and yes, I was eating the whole time too, but I almost ate a whole pizza.
Rivet.
But I was so into this movie that I completely forgot to write down anything. I'm not going to rate it right now because we're not that far in this episode yet, but I loved it. I mean, there was one part where near the beginning we're watching Richard and like how he's like interacting with his family. Yeah, he's got like a strict regimen for these two girls, but there's still so much love there.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember just going, why can't this be my dad? Can you be my dad?
An important piece, and it got brought up about halfway through the movie, is this does take place around the time of everything that happened with Rodney King.
It shows up on the news.
On the newscast. So they talk about, I mean, you don't see it, but you know that eventually leads to the riots that happened in Los Angeles. So that point where he takes his kids out of training with the guy in LA to then go and train in Florida makes a lot of sense. He didn't want his kids in that environment. He knew what that was going to lead to, and I thought that was a cool little thing to throw in there just so you kind of got a timeline of when this right about happened. Gavin, I know you didn't make it all the way through before we started recording. What do you think so far?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I was pretty engaged with it. I had looked up like it was pretty early on if it was a real story, and naturally when I looked that up, I got the one that it mentioned that he just like wholesale dropped his family, which I had mentioned already, but which kind of tainted a little bit of his actions to me a little bit because I'm like, that's kind of fucked, bro.
Yeah.
Especially because it wasn't like. Anyways, especially because like that family has never met either family. It's all fucked. It's weird. So it made me like a little antagonistic towards Richard. But I do think they did have a lot of love for those kids. Like he was doing very well with those kids and everything else.
And I think that's that's what they're trying to get at a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that they want you to think that he's a good dad and that he loves his kids, but at the same time, you know that there's something going on behind the scenes that makes you kind of think, okay, this dude's a little shady. I mean, you can definitely tell that part of the reason he's doing this is because he wants the media attention and part of the glory. He also
wants the money.
Wants the money for sure.
But he also like goes out of his way to like go against the norm for this tennis community, by like making sure that they're not playing games so they have a childhood. Like they're still practicing, but they're still enjoying their early teens.
Well, and even like later in the movie, you haven't gotten there. The guy that ends up training them in Florida, he was training one of the top tennis stars in the world. She decided to leave the sport at 18 or 19 years old, was put on the news that she was arrested and found with drugs and stuff. And this prompts Richard to take all of the kids that are training at this tennis facility and go to Disneyland and just spend a day being kids. And I think that, I mean, you got to really appreciate that because at the end of the day, yes, you're trying to teach your kids how to be champions and you want your kids to be successful. But at the same time, I mean, these girls were 14 and 12 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, you still got to let them be kids.
I mean, 14 at the end of the movie where, was it Serena? Venus. Or Venus was...
Venus is the big one, Serena's the little one.
Venus was going up against, like, the greatest tennis player in the world at the age of 14, and she almost won.
She almost did win.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, this
happened.
She's the number 2 now, and Serena's number 1, I believe, right? Currently?
Oh, I don't know currently.
Let's find out.
I know that I really do like all the things that this touches on. I'm a huge fan of biographies, and while this, like I said, isn't 100% a biography by any means, it definitely shows you the childhood that they had. And I mean, even their sisters, you look at all their sisters, they don't get talked about, but Richard says it in the movie, we got doctors and lawyers and tennis stars in this household. So they raised 5 incredible girls, and
no. Maybe they retired.
And that's the children we do get to see. One thing that I was kind of upset about after it got mentioned was not getting this. I mean, it might be a deleted scene too. Not getting to see when the son like knocked on the door and found him, because that reaction, like how we hear it secondhand. Oh, you found me. That would have done a lot to show more of like another side of Richard.
Yeah.
I know they're kind of trying to focus on the I love my daughters. I want the. I almost don't want to say it that way, but like I want the fame of being able to say that I trained these 2 amazing tennis stars. And that's kind of why I think the movie's called King Richard, even though it's not really said in the movie that his title's King Richard. But
I think somebody calls him King Richard once
early on in the
yeah. But yeah, even the stuff that goes on outside of the tennis. I mean, you see that his wife and their mom is working as a nurse during the day. He's working as a security guard at night. You see him getting beat down by, I don't even know, gang members, are they?
Yeah. I don't know if they're affiliated to any certain gang, but they're just...
you see that when he's finally had enough and he knows that he can't protect his daughter by fighting these guys, that he was going to go kill one of them. Thankfully, he didn't end up pulling the trigger, but
someone else did.
Somebody else did, though. So
he was totally gonna do it. He was just in shock. He was like, "That's the motherfucker I was trying to shoot." Holy shit!
Great movie though. As far as sports movies goes, it's phenomenal, and that's just as a sports movie. As a story about 2 of the best tennis players of all time, it's a classic. I think it'll go down as...
Yeah, I haven't watched the Oscars yet. Oh no, they're next weekend.
That's why you haven't watched them.
Exactly. I can't watch things in the future yet. But
stay tuned next week.
This is up for King Richard is up for Best Picture and a few other awards.
Oh, dope.
I can definitely see why. Out of these, I think I've only seen 3 of the movies that are up for Best Picture right now, and that's King Richard, Don't Look Up, and Dune. Just seeing this one, I don't think it would beat Dune, but it'd probably be close for me.
What are you rating it?
Rating it? Probably, I want to say 8 out of 10.
Gavin, for what you've watched?
7. For what I've watched.
Yeah, I'm right around that range. I'd probably go about an 8 as well. I was gonna go higher, but I mean there are things that I wish they had touched
Batman.
There are some more things that I wish they had touched on for sure in the movie. It is a movie I will definitely rewatch.
Yeah, I was kind of sad we didn't just buy it last night.
It is definitely a movie that I will recommend to people.
Yeah.
I already did, actually. I told my manager at work today how good it was. And told her to watch it because she's super into tennis. So, whether you're into tennis or not, because the 3 of us, none of us are into tennis.
Yeah, I have no idea how it's going.
I know Serena Williams.
Yeah, most people in the world know who Venus and Serena Williams are. So, I would recommend this movie to anybody watching this. And yeah, just a great, make your heart happy kind of movie at the end.
Yeah.
So,
real quick, favorite character.
That's hard. I'm gonna probably say Venus.
Venus?
Yeah.
Gavin, so far?
Your what?
Favorite character? I also really like their trainer in Florida. He cracks me up.
Rick?
Yeah.
You mean Shane? So far, probably Rick Trainer in Florida.
Yeah, that's actually who I was gonna say. I mentioned while we were watching the movie. It's kind of rare to see John Bernthal in a role like this. Usually, he's playing like a military type role or badass or like a gangster, like in Wolf on Wall Street. But seeing him on like a more lovable side and like he really cares about these kids too. You can kind of see that the one tennis star that he did train that got in trouble for drugs after dropping out or burning out, he really felt bad about. But his just through his portrayal, you could see that the character's heart was fully into making these girls superstars and just making sure these girls have what they needed. Plus, I really like that actor. I mean, Will Smith is a given. I'll watch anything with Will Smith in it, unless it has Jaden Smith in it too. Just kidding.
Or if it has a clone of Will Smith.
Hey, I still like that.
It was a good movie.
I will say my one negative, and it's not really the movie itself, is more me psyching myself up watching the movie, was you kept saying something about preparing to cry. For some reason, I kept psyching myself in my head that I was going to be like 7 pounds level or Pursuit of Happiness level. It was not.
No, there are a couple moments that'll make you want to tear up, but nothing that's going to make you cry to that level. The other thing that I really, really do love, at the end of the movie, you do get to see clips from their real life growing up on their camcorder. I thought that was super cool. So, all right. Good movie. We all agree. It is Aaron's turn. He is not here. He did send it to us over text. So we are watching something that I love. Aaron loves. Zach has not seen. Gavin, you said it's been a while?
I have a shaky recollection at best.
And we are going to watch the Robin Williams classic Dead Poets Society. Oh, Captain, my Captain, as it would be. So
that's where that's from.
So check that out next week. That'll come out next week, and Aaron will be back to...
Do we want a synopsis?
Sure, yeah. Read us a synopsis.
All right.
Is this back to me?
After this week, yeah.
Oh, fuck. I didn't vet my movies at all yet.
I already have like a whole list.
I know my...
I have a list, but my list also includes movies that I think would be fun to watch with everybody. But I also tell myself I have to vet by watching the first 10 minutes of, because they're bad movies. So if I watch the first 10 minutes, I can usually tell if the movie's going to be like...
Yep.
I'm picking
semi-enjoyable.
Terrible horror movie next pick.
I think I'm going to talk
about 4.
We're going to talk about that in the movie episode.
So Dead Poets Society, the synopsis goes as Maverick teacher John Keaton uses poetry to embolden his boarding school students to new heights of self-expression. I think I've seen this parodied a lot in shows like Family Guy and The Simpsons. But yeah, I'm excited to see this. This is rated 8.1 out of 10 on IMDb. Robin Williams is another actor I'll watch anything that he's done.
Yeah, and this is... It's hard to say it's one of his best, because there's some... Good Will Hunting is my favorite Robin Williams movie of all time.
And that will be a movie, Bookie.
But this would fall in that next tier to me, but that next tier is so big because we got like Dead Poets Society, Flubber, Miss Doubtfire.
Oh god, I miss Flubber.
Yeah, so I am so excited. I love Robin Williams, and we will watch that next week, and we will be back next week. So if you haven't seen Dead Poets Society, check out next week's episode. See our review. Hopefully you'll get to watch it. If you have seen it, check out next week's episode. See if you agree with what we thought about it.
Like, and if you're watching this in the present time and you can't watch next week's episode, be sure to click on the notification bell and turn on the notifications. That way you can see when it comes out.
And while you're waiting for that episode, we have a
plethora.
A
Prius.
A Tesla.
We have a Tesla of opportunities and videos to watch.
What? All right. So many other videos on you can watch.
Plethora.
We've been doing this since just after Thanksgiving. So we have so much content to watch. So check that out. as we said at the top of the episode, if you liked anything you saw here, which if you made it this far, you definitely liked something, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell like Gavin said. Thank you guys so much for watching, and it's time to split it!